Sheridan France, it's such a pleasure to have you here today. Sheridan, you've been an expert in facial aesthetics for over 20 years. You're rated #1 by Google as #1 lip filler in London. A nice stat to fill the room with. Pioneer of the liquid facelift. And you were trained by the Baron of Botox, Dr. Frederick Brandt. You spend your time making people look fantastic. What does that give people?
Most women like it because it makes them feel good about themselves and it gives them confidence. Whether that's confidence in their relationship or confidence in themselves or just confidence for their work. Could be many reasons why.
I'm sure almost every client you can remember and how it changes. You just see that then get so lit up from these transformations.
Yeah.
What do you think looking good does for people?
It's very difficult to say, isn't it? I think people age in different ways. Some people have just they just age because they've been in the sun, or they just have bad luck in their lives. They have a relationship that hasn't worked, or very stressful jobs, or illness, and it's often nothing to do with their choices. It's just happened to them, and it can make them look older and more tired, and sometimes they just want to refresh themselves, and sometimes wipe away that memory really and just go back to looking good and confident.
When you think about people who are really confident, how do you feel like people can get that? Because sadly one does meet people who look fantastic but they just don't feel that, they don't connect to their real beauty.
I think that's psychological, isn't it? And I think it's multifaceted. I think how people feel about themselves is obviously how they internally how they feel, and their confidence, their experiences, often what's happened in their childhood. They can look very beautiful on the outside, but if they don't have confidence on the inside, they don't make the most of their beauty. And sometimes you get people who are not so beautiful, but they have such an air of confidence and charm that people gravitate to them.
How do you think people get to being like that, having that sense of inner calmness?
I think getting to know yourself and knowing what works for you. Experience, I think life experiences, I think age as well. The funny thing is, as people get older, I think women always think it's everything's so negative about getting older, but actually I think getting older is really fabulous because you just are much more relaxed about things. You don't get so stressed, you don't get so worried, and you have the experiences and know that everything changes. So bad times will soon become good times again.
Yeah. You made me jump my thoughts there.
Do you agree with me on that one?
Completely. And calmness and knowing yourself. You'll meet so many amazing people coming in, all their great different takes in life. Are there some things you've seen in people that you have adopted? Maybe it's chatting to people who come in through the doors, just their mentality on a subject that is different to yours, but you thought, wow, I'm going to take a scoop out of that.
Yeah, some things maybe, but I don't get that personal with my patients. They, most of the time, or a lot of the time, they come to me and I give them lots of support and energy and my time, and it's more about what I can give to them really. That's more what my job involves, making them fabulous, understanding the motives of why they're here, understanding how much work they want to do or how little work they want to do, understanding things like, have they got an event next week, we better than just do a little bit today and then maybe the rest in 3 weeks' time or something. My focus is really on them.
Yeah, it's funny because walking through the doors that of your wonderful place here, we're in Malden, right? You said
Fitzrovia. I think it's a little bit more trendier than Marylebone now.
I'm trying to keep up.
I know. Next week could be something else.
This place you've designed so beautifully, but it's really a reflection of you, and you've got this crazy calm nature, which I'm sure people listening will sense and feel. Have you always had that about you?
No. I think it comes with age.
Yeah.
I think beauty is something that comes from inside, and there's a lot of emphasis on youth and beauty, and especially in America, they love all that kind of cheerleading. The younger the better, look really fresh and everything. But actually in the continent, in places like Italy and France, they really celebrate the older woman, and they find that very attractive. There's a maturity, and I think calmness comes from, as I said before, it comes from knowing yourself. When I was in my 20s, I was really anxious. I found it a really stressful time because you're thrown as a young person. If you come from quite a protective family and you're thrown into sort of an adult world, and I moved to London, and it's suddenly you have to be all these things and you have to understand everything, and it can be really stressful. And then there's careers, and what are you going to do in the universities, and finding money for rent and jobs and relationships and everything, and it's just very stressful. But then as you get older, it's great because then you realise, actually, if I do that you learn to be, and things are a bit more calm for that reason.
And things naturally have a way of unfolding.
You learn your own limitations, and also you learn that it's okay, it's all going to be okay. I think young people find it very stressful, especially nowadays, really stressful, and they worry, especially women. I see very young women in their 20s, 25, come into the clinic, and they're so anxious. A lot of them are on these dating apps, and they come in and they have treatment, or they want to have treatment, and it's just to please somebody else, and it's just they're on this, it's very anxiety promoting. And if they just took a step back and just accepted who they were, and that's changing. The Kardashians and the Instagram and the social media, 5 years, it was absolutely at its peak of giving young people stress about how they... People are aware, especially with things like AI, they can't keep up with those images. It's impossible to keep up with those images, that it's all fake, really. And there's a step away from that at the moment. And I think people are going more towards natural work.
I bet so many people come in here, they'll be lucky enough to get your treatment and your insight, but also your pockets of wisdom. And I bet they end up wanting to call you up and be like, by the way, this ended up going really well. Are there any messages that we haven't covered that you feel you do want to push to maybe young women or young people generally?
Do you know what? I think the thing is, you go and have your photograph taken, right, for your passport. You think, oh God, I look terrible in that photograph. And then 10 years later, you have to renew the photo. You have to think, actually, I look great. And it's like being able to, at that moment, recognise what you have. That actually you've got youth and you've got fabulous skin. And so many young women in their 20s and 30s, all they look at is the faults, and they don't see the beauty that they've got, the natural, youthful beauty. And they look at the faults in there, they just home in on the faults. But people don't see that. They come in and they say, oh, I don't like that. But I say, do you know what? I didn't even notice that. People see the whole picture. People see the essence of somebody. Don't you think?
Totally. We live in such a funny world, and every country's got its own culture, and we live in a culture in Britain where we're not telling each other the great things about what we see because it's not the done thing to do necessarily. Are there things that you feel like we should be communicating to each other more?
My way of doing aesthetics has always been about the individual. So it's always been about bringing out the beauty of that individual face, because every face is beautiful. It's just, I find it abhorrent, these sort of faces that all look the same. And I think just using a little bit of filler, a little bit of aesthetics to just enhance something, and that's great. And I think there is a move towards that now. I think people have been aware of that not this generic face that's surgically or operated on, or that looks the same. All these girls at one stage were wanting this particular look. I think people are aware that it's not really that attractive anymore.
Yeah. You've been described as an artist. And it's been...
That's nice.
Probably
by who? By my daughter. When we compete for paintings.
Probably but people in their thousands. But
that's very kind.
Impossible to truly understand the journey of someone who's not really been in that position of what you go through when you see a face, you come across a client. Can you walk us through how it works? Because there's so many parts to this, right? You want to make someone look good. People are different. And then obviously there's the technical skill of working with someone's face.
It's a lot of experience. I was just very lucky. I was just in the right place at the right time. I worked with two fantastic consultants, cosmetic consultants, surgeons, and they basically wanted me to look after the skin, and then I end up doing all their injectables. So I was baptism by fire underneath these wonderful guys that they were there to support me. And then along came Dr. Brandt, who was flown in by a very famous singer. He was her dermatologist at the time. And I became great friends with him, and he taught me everything. So I used to go to Miami and learn his skill. He did all the styles, very innovative. He was at the beginning of it all. He did lots of trials for Restylane and lots of trials for Botox. He was known as the Baron of Botox, and he really pushed things. I've just been very lucky. So when I see a face, it's experience, it's knowing, and through those years of experience, I've tried out different products, and then you really get to know what really works. And I don't really go far off that really now. I kind of stick with the same things because I've never had any complication in 30 years, never had a problem at all. Good products, a bit of dusting of artistry, not much, I don't think. I think
Too much modesty.
I think lots and lots of experience and just staying natural and not overfilling. The problem is that it's $1 billion industry, and a lot of people are not that ethical, and they're driven by money. And they see dollar signs when people walk in the clinic. You have to be so ethical. You have to really be patient-centered and put that patient's needs first and never think about money. In fact, a friend of mine who said he owned Molton Brown, and he said to me, not me personally ever chase money, but never chase money, always chase being an expert in something, and money will follow. And that's key, being expert, caring about patients, and you'll have a successful business. But if you keep upsell to people, they come in and then you fill their faces. And that is one of the biggest problems at the moment, is that patients have been so overfilled.
And that's why they come to you, these people who have had Sheridan's got an amazing website, and
we try to convey people's stories and natural people and their lives, real people.
I can't imagine the journey of someone coming here saying, Sheridan, thank you so much for finally, I'm so glad that I've got time in your calendar, help me out, look what they've done to my face. And you just completely give us an idea on that, because unfortunately some people have had treatments where it's just not gone well for various reasons, and there you come in, the silver bullet.
I don't know, that's a difficult one, isn't it? I don't tend to touch them, unfortunately, because it becomes my liability, and I don't want to. I'm so busy with creating things from scratch that I don't want to start fiddling around with trying to correct other people's work. Also, the problem is the industry is not regulated, so there's hundreds of fillers coming in, and they're coming from China, Russia, all these places, bought online, cheap as chips, no one knows what's in them, probably made in somebody's shed and packaged beautifully and sold on the internet, and no one knows. They haven't gone through any kind of testing, most likely. I don't know, I don't use them, so I don't know. But so for me to then go in to an area that's been treated with a product that I know nothing about, it could create a reaction, or I just don't want to do that. I just don't want to go there. It's just difficult. And I'm very fussy about my work. If somebody's gone in there, they've already created something. And then I have to try and uncreate it. It's just easier just for them to go and get it dissolved, and then I see them.
As you've given us an idea, people come and see you at different times in their life for different reasons. Can you tell us about the transformation that you see? Like the positive, it's like an injection hit where you must give them, and they walk out the door like, here I am. Or maybe it's 5 days later where...
that happens. But they can look in the mirror and think, oh my God, I think I've overdone the lips or something because there's swelling. And then it goes down and it's beautiful. It looks really nice and natural. But I get a lot of texts saying, thank you so much. I absolutely love your work. They're really happy. But I don't know, because people just get on with their lives, don't they? They send a little message. But I think the fact is that people don't contact me and say, oh, I'm so distraught, I've made a mistake. I never get that. So I assume that they're all happy.
Do you have people coming in saying they want X and Y, and then you advise them, actually, no, I recommend this and that?
Well, I think now a lot of people have seen my work on Instagram. My patients aren't irrational people. So I have a lot of lawyers. Well, I have a lot of police officers, actually. I have lots of people in the media and entertainment world, and then lots of people in marketing. So they're quite careful people who wouldn't just nip into the local place down the road on their way home and just get a quick lip filler. So they do a lot of research, and then a lot of them come in and say, I've been following you for months or even years, So they know what they want and they get an idea, because also our Instagram, we try and make it quite informative for patients. So if you put it there, it does that. If you go there. So a lot of them come in and say, oh yeah, I understand. If you put it there, it does that. So it's quite collaborative.
Yeah. Where do you think this comes from? Because at the end of the day, you know, what you're doing, you're really empowering people and really helping them position themselves to be the best version of themselves in the world. And you did your master's in nursing and midwifery.
Yeah.
Caring for people. Is there a backstory to that?
Not really.
No.
Just like it.
Yeah.
I'd love to say, yeah, I had a dying hamster. I looked after him, was traumatised.
Yeah.
No, it's quite fun. It's quite fun. It's upbeat. You know, I was going to do clinical psychology. I studied psychology. I was going to do clinical. I got a place to study clinical postgraduate, and I was going to be a clinical psychologist. But then I thought, oh, God, I actually couldn't have been a clinical psychologist. I just couldn't. I couldn't have done that. I take my hat off to people who, because I think it's internalizing a lot of negativity. And although you help people, it's quite difficult. You need a lot of emotional reserve to do that job. But my job's very positive.
Yeah.
It's like people just send messages saying, I'm so happy. So it's like, it's great.
We know where to come for that.
Yeah, it's great.
So when you see people on the street, your mind must be quite busy when you're looking at people's faces and noticing sort of beauty, and obviously beauty.
I always have done that, haven't you? Don't you?
But in a different way to you, there's no way that someone as primitive as me could notice these details on people.
I notice beauty which lots of people probably wouldn't see as beauty. I see a woman passes me, or a man, and I said, she looks so beautiful. She's got a lovely bone structure. Yeah. You know what? I saw a patient the other day and she said, oh, I want this because I hate my nose. I said, I love your nose. She had this really amazing nose. It was like Roman nose, and it was just so beautiful. It was like something from a painting, but she didn't like it. She wants a little kind of turned up thing. So beauty is everything, really. It can be anything. It's also beauty is the eye of the beholder. Or as my mother used to say, beauty is the eye of the behaviour, darling. As I would scream at my brothers.
I feel like people have never ever looked so good.
Oh, really?
Do you think that's true?
No. You know, the thing about today, right now, is that people have all these options. They have dating sites and no one's in a relationship. People have access to all these things to make themselves look beautiful, but they don't look. I think in the 60s, if you look at the icons, and even people, Kate Moss, but if you look at people like, I don't know, you can just look at all the old photographs, and they were stunning, but they had a quirkiness about the face. They didn't have everything. And when people start measuring and making it all, oh, it must be this, and they try to make the face so perfect, it's so boring. No, I don't think people have ever looked so beautiful. I think most of them look awful, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
No, take that back. I don't think most people look awful. Most people look lovely, but if they have too much work or the wrong work, they look awful.
Yeah, that's...
No, I think I think people are very self-obsessed at the moment, aren't they? They're very, like...
And as you say, what can we have noticed? Sometimes you see people who are aesthetically great, but you can just tell. It's what you alluded to. There are some people that have this like inner confidence, and it doesn't matter what they...
Or they're funny, or they're quirky,
and they're so attractive, that energy.
You know those little moments that lift your day? A smile, the sun coming out, or a piece of chocolate? Audrey's Chocolates have been handcrafting chocolate for over 70 years. Chocolate to die for. It comes in beautiful boxes that make for the perfect gift. Or bars of chocolate that feed daily joy. Discover your moment of joy by visiting audreyschocolates.co.uk and treat yourself to 10% off using the code TheCollective10.
Yeah, I think it's energy. You're right, it's that. Which is almost like you can't put your finger on positive energy.
Yeah.
I think that's right. I think people it's about energy. When people have got this really positive energy, it's very addictive. It's very charismatic, isn't it? And someone can be as beautiful, but if they're negative or unhappy in their life, it doesn't resonate as beautiful always, does it really?
Yeah, totally. And you'll see that impact on them aesthetically. Like people change the way people look as they get older. If they're light in a certain way, they don't carry tension in a certain way, maybe they age slightly better in some ways, maybe not.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's just genes, isn't it? And lifestyle and what life has thrown at you. You can just have lots of bad luck. Some people just have a lot of really bad luck, don't they? I feel they have a partner that they love dies, or a child is ill or something, and it's completely out of their control, and it can affect the way they look.
Yeah, completely.
Or they're just decadent. They're just quite out partying every night.
And somehow look incredible. You're thinking, what on earth?
Yeah, or look awful.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the old Botox thing, and just white people used to say, don't say anymore. I don't think so much, because I don't think anybody drinks anymore, but they used to say things like, oh yeah, I had a bottle of wine, but I know I can have the Botox, to just wipe it all away.
And I think it's a good opportunity to hear some advice you have for people. Maybe it's related to skin or beauty in general. Do you have any thoughts to share?
I think people are pretty wised up about the skin at the moment. There's so many products out there, and there's so many products which are accessible, financially accessible for people. There's really good brands that are really reasonable price, and then there's really expensive. And there's so much information to actually dissect the ingredients. And there's also apps where you can just go and it can tell you the rating out of 100, whether it's good for you. So it's skin care, skin products, creams and things. It's not really my bag, because it's just a whole world on its own, and it's been really well covered. But what I do is I sculpt the face, and so I tend to say to people, if you imagine it's like approach to anti-aging is like 4 different pillars. There's surgery, and which some people don't want, some people need and don't have. And then there's Botox or anti-wrinkle treatments, which are standalone for the upper part of the face. And then there's structural work, which I do, which is fillers and structuring the cheeks and the lips and everything. And then there's skincare, and under that you can have things like micro needling, you can have things like various different lasers, you can have PRP where you take your blood, separate it and you inject into the skin for the growth factors. You can have things like skin boosters, and then you can have skin care, which can be prescription strength, going right down to what you can pick up in Superdrug or Boots. So I think it's understanding what's your speciality in that sort of area, and that's my speciality, is the structure, the sculpting of the face. It's just evolved like that.
When you were with the Baron of Botox, that was in the US, that was in the US, right?
It was here and there, it was here and also in Miami.
Yeah, there must be some quirky
stories.
There's
some fantastic stories. I found out, but I can't tell you them because they're confidential. But yeah, really. You can Google him, you can see who his patients were, and he used to she used to fly him over, and I'd listen to the conversations and the music videos that were going on at the time, and all the people they're just referred to on first name basis, and all the conversations. So yeah, it was very entertaining. It was really interesting. But he was lovely because we became really good friends, and he was quite a celebrity in himself. I'd assist him with this patient in London. He would take me out with him to all these different events that he was invited to, and then one had the Rolling Stones were there, and another one was for Damien Hirst at the skull, that diamond skull. That was an amazing party, and he was very generous. He was very generous at this time, and really appreciated me. And yeah, it was great. Really sad that he died. He committed suicide, which is tragic, really.
Yeah. And you must, in meeting so many different people, have you got friendships through your
some.
Yeah.
It's a sort of, it's a tricky one because it's a professional relationship. But yeah. Patients invite me to weddings and invite me to parties and invite me in. Some I go to, some don't, but it's nice.
What do you think are the hidden privileges of doing what you do?
My patients are so lovely. They're so lovely. I'm really blessed with my patients. Many of them have been coming to me, and some of them say, I've been coming to you for 20 years. And then they say, oh no, I've been coming 25 years. They've been coming to me for a really long time. And it's so lovely because we just catch up where we left off, whether it was 6 months before or a year or even 5 years before, because some of them get married and have babies and they can't have treatments and stuff while they're pregnant or whatever. And they're busy, and then they come back, and we pick up where we left off, really.
Yeah. One question you wish more patients asked you?
What is the product made of? What is the safety profile of that product. How long has it been going for? And they never ask me about the product. I tell them because it's really important, and I'm trying to inform them about what's going in their tissue.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
Things like, for example, what are the safety risks? Have you ever had anybody who's come and which I haven't, had something where they want me to send them for a biopsy or something because the people are just getting stuff injected in their faces and they don't know what's going in their faces. Not in my practice, but stuff that's been brought over from wherever.
Yeah. The world of lips is something you'd like to share about the lip world?
No, not really. Just don't do it. Or if you do it really naturally, make sure the product's top quality, don't over-inject, and don't have it done in the back of somebody's car. Apparently somebody's having it done in the back of somebody's car.
Yeah, I heard someone doing a lip filling party.
Yeah, but that's bad. But to have it done in the back of somebody's car, it's like, what?
Yeah.
It's a serious intervention. It's a product where you're injecting into tissue. There's blood, there's all sorts of things involved, and it's just, people aren't taking it seriously.
And the technology must be changing quite quickly.
Not really.
Is it?
It's pretty much the same as there was a burst of things, and yeah, of course, product companies are always trying to grab the market, but actually you've got products which have been around 30, 40 years and they've got such amazing research and safety profile, and they're pure as well, pure hyaluronic acid. So integrate into tissue really well, and you can't go far wrong with those.
Yeah, yeah. But it is more accessible, these treatments these days, right?
It's everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's literally everywhere. In fact, it's every week almost. There's a new clinic springing up, isn't there?
Yeah. Have you ever done quite reconstructive work for people who've had maybe a car accident? That must be quite emotional. Yeah,
she was a model for me on one of my Instagram, and she's very beautiful, and she had a very bad car accident, and actually I've had 3 patients who've had car accidents and affected their lip, but this girl in particular, she lost all her teeth and everything, but she's very beautiful, and I've done some work on her as well. Yeah, and she looks lovely.
People must have a sense that they always owe. They can't give you what they feel they owe you for what you've done to them.
Really?
That must happen. That must happen.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I just get I suppose if I say I'm going to retire, then they get a bit like, what am I going to do? No, you can't retire. That's when they get a little bit. So sometimes I say that to them just to kind of get them to appreciate me and realise how much I'm appreciated.
Yeah.
I'm not going to retire, but I just throw that one in occasionally and I get the response I'm looking for.
And can you give us an idea of the process, with the needles?
Would you like to be a model one day for us?
In what sense?
Come in and we'll treat you. Not you look great, so you don't need too much treatment, but why didn't you come in so you can experience the whole thing?
Why not?
Yeah, great. Why didn't you do that?
Why not? I've had one thing done.
What's
do you
that?
know what that is?
No.
Do you want me to give you a clue?
Yeah. Pinoplasty?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Who did it for you?
It was done by a very famous guy in Marylebone. I can find out the name. He's top.
It's a really good treatment, isn't it?
It's
How
funny
long did you have it done?
I had it done when I was 16, and it was life changing because it meant that something I was really subconscious about, I would no longer be concerned about. I could have my hair cut whatever length, and for so many of your patients, there'll be things you do that really change how they feel.
Things like really skinny lips are very difficult to create, but they do make an impact. And also sometimes people have a very weak chin, receding chin, and putting a bit of chin filler in can really change somebody's confidence.
And do people want different looks? Do you have people telling you how they want to?
Not really. They just want to look like the better version of them. I think they realise that's not my bag, that I'm not that sort of practitioner that stamps out, that's the look. There's it, dung, 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 dung. Everyone looks. I don't like that. They know that I only really like natural, where you just bring out. You don't change the person. You just make them look like a better version of themselves.
We're going to move to the quickfire questions. A few quirky things that give you joy.
Walking and seeing that give me joy in my life.
Yeah.
Seeing how funny how my dog can't bear my child. That makes me laugh because they're supposed to be, golden doodles are supposed to adore children, and the way the baby tries so hard to enchant the dog, and just occasionally she responds. She would never harm the baby, don't get me wrong, but the way she's oh God, where does this come from? I had such a peaceful life before. That makes me laugh.
Change.
Yeah. Mind you, they're getting a bit better together.
Yeah. A mantra you want to embrace now?
Accept yourself, love yourself, value what you've got now, I think. That's 3, isn't it? That's a bit, you only asked for 1. I don't know. They're all the same. They're all on the same line.
There's no complaint. A favourite book, film or artist that isn't obvious?
Maria Callas.
Something you wish you knew when you were younger?
That everything changes. Everything will be all right.
Yeah.
Everything works out in the end.
We're going to have 2 things that are in for you right now and 2 things that are out for you. Hot right now, not hot right now type vibe.
I love South France, but that's always been in, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I love it. As much as it's changing, like London is fabulous. That's what I love.
And out?
Out. Trainers for women, although I'm wearing them.
So brilliant. That's so brilliant.
In high shoes. Let's get some high shoes back, girls. I've got a stack of them. I want to be able to wear them and not look like I'm standing out, and I will this summer. I think high shoes are fabulous.
Yeah. Sheridan, thank you so much
you're most
for
welcome.
being here today and giving us your time.
It's been really enjoyable.